What's up and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a review for the film Meg 2: The Trench. Now this is a sequel to 2018's The Meg, and it is based on the 1999 novel The Trench by Steve Alten. Now this is a science fiction film, and again it is about Jason Statham's character Jonas, who must defend people, save people from giant megalodon sharks. Now this particular film is just like the first film. I must admit, I'm even kind of disappointed about it too, to a certain extent, because it's very over the top. It feels like a B movie, you know. This is how the first film was, and I'm a huge fan of the megalodon shark. I'm so fascinated with the megalodon shark itself, you know, the prehistoric shark itself, megalodon. So I kind of hate the kind of stuff that they are doing with the shark, you know. But I can kind of see why they actually made it like this, you know, comedic and over the top like that, you know. Because we have a huge shark, you know. Plus, how would you even deal with people being in a dangerous situation and it's serious with a huge shark? You know, where would you even do that? Because eventually it could just stay out the water. But you know, I'm going to just get into the film itself. Now, this particular film itself, it's about Jonas, his character. You know, the character that Jason Statham plays, Jonas Taylor. Him and a group of other scientists have to go very deep into the trench, under the water, just for exploration, you know, because there's something about this mining facility that's under the water, and it turns out that it is some kind of these crystal-like thing, not really crystals, but these stones that they were secretly mining. That's kind of a spoiler alert right there. But once they're down there, two megalodons show up, and, you know, then they get into a dangerous situation where they have to avoid and escape from the megalodons and all that. Now I must admit, kind of midpoint through the film, when they're actually under the water, and they're in these I forget what they call the suits. They these kind of robotic, mechanical type suits. You know, they move all around and so on. Because the guy, one of the characters known as Jermaine Zhang. Yeah, they call him Jermaine. I thought that was kind of funny too, because his name sounds just like my name, Jermaine. And he's played by Wu Jane. Now his character, he's he's the uncle to the little girl, you know, that Jason is taking care of. And at the same time, he's the one who's also created these, I forget what they call them, these biosuits or something like that. And they use these suits to go under the water to explore. And like I said, that's when they encounter the two large megalodons and so on. But he actually had a pet megalodon at the research place that they're at. It's a facility is known as Mana One. It's kind of out on in the ocean and this place where it has their own megalodon that was discovered as a baby, and it was trained by Juman, and he gave it a name I think known as I think it was Hayden or Hayden. I think that's what he called it. Because he actually be testing it out, because it was a tense moment kind of where he was testing out just to prove to them that the megalodon would attack him and so on. I just leave it at that. So that moment was kind of cool, kind of towards the beginning of the film. And that particular megalodon looks very docile, you know. It's really huge, but it was still it was as massive as the other megalodon that they encountered later on. But that particular megalodon, I just leave it at that. That was kind of the opening of the film. But eventually it does escape from the facility and goes out into the ocean. At the same time, they go on their little mission under the water to explore you know, the trench and so on. That's when they encounter the other megalodons. And at the same time, it turns out that the company, or I think Mana One, that's what it's called, is kind of a corrupt company too, as well some of the people that's running it, the leaders or the bosses and so on. They actually are kind of corrupt, and so I don't want to go into it too much because it kind of spoil it. But yeah, once they're under the water, they encounter all these different kind of creatures. Because these one creatures, they even come up on the land. I don't even know what those were. I don't know what you even call them particular creatures. You know, they had to deal with them. And there's also a giant octopus too as well. Because even the octopus at one point even gets into a battle with the megalodon shark. I thought that was just too much for me. There's a billionaire who runs the place. Her name is known as Hillary Driscoll. And she's the one that's investing Juman's efforts in the Mana One operation or whatever. And she's played by Sienna Galori. I think that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, like I said before, it turns out that, you know, they're kind of corrupt and so on, all that kind of stuff. I just leave it at that. Now, some of the other people return from the other film, Paige Kennedy. He returns as DJ, the engineer at Mana One, because he also has a rap song at the end of the film. If you watch the credits, you know, you hear him rapping the song. I was surprised that there was something rapping that particular song. You know, you also have Shuya Sophia Kai as Mei Ying Zhang, and you know, she's the niece and Jonas stepdaughter. You also have Sergio Perez Machenta as Montes, and he's a part of the illegal mining operations. And there's also like this one guy, I forget what his name was, he's like the villain of the film. Yeah, you can look at Montes, and yeah, he was actually like the antagonist of the film, like the main villain of the film. Now, like I said, it was like one moment kind of like midpoint through the film where they actually are under the water, like they escape from the Megalodons and they get to like, this underwater facility. It was like very tense and like fun there. I must admit it was really kind of cool and awesome. I like how like it played out right there. Like then they got like into this like tense situation where the place was getting flooded and all. Then they had them huge megalodons out there, plus like them other creatures. I forget what the name of them are called. Yeah, these creatures, they were known as like snappers because they could swim under the water and at the same time they was up on the land too as well. So I thought all that was kind of like weird. You know, they're known as like snappers. That's the name of these like creatures. Like they're like lizard-like creatures. So you know they have to fight off them and all that. And they was even on land and so on. So I thought that was kind of cool that they could be like under the water like that, swimming like very deep. But then they could come up through the trench and be on land too as well. Now I thought the opening part of the film, even that was kind of like, it was just something like kind of like silly about it. It was okay, but it was like it took place back during like prehistoric times, like with the dinosaurs. And there was a scene like that in Steve Austin's like novel of like the Meg. I think that was in the first Meg, right? The first novel, or the Trench one. Well, you can see like the dinosaurs and various like creatures and stuff during prehistoric times, like messing around and eating and you know trying to survive. So then the megalodon attacks like the T-Rex. You see it in the trailer, you know. So I thought that was kind of cool and fun. But even the way like the look of like the creatures, like the prehistoric creatures and so on, they like, I don't know, it was just something like off about it. But the film was like very over the top. It feels like a B movie, you know, like something that was made for like the science fiction channel, like those like the you know shark versus like octopus and all like them kind of movies. It really feels like that. It's like just very like over the top. It's like very like humorous, comedic. So I must admit I'm not really feeling all that. But it was in the end, I guess it could still be like a fun type movie if you like look at it in that point of view. Now this was directed by Ben Wheatley. So I'm giving Meg to the Trench. I'm gonna give this, I kinda wanna give it a C, but I don't know, I'm thinking about giving it like a C minus. I thought it was just okay, and I'm such a huge fan of the Megalodon shark. I'm very like fascinated with that particular like animal, you know. And then, you know, I feel like they're not really doing it justice, you know, by making it like silly and all that kind of stuff. But the shark was like very huge, and what could you really do with like such a huge shark? And you know, like it would need like a large space, so how could people even be in danger with something like that, you know? So that's why they make it so like over the top, like adding like giant octopuses and like lizard like creatures known as snappers and all that kind of stuff. But I'm giving this a C minus. Please leave a comment and subscribe too as well.